We have another nomination from the Trinity Arts and Media Association. It'll be a video presentation from Antony Gormley, the noted sculptor.
It would have to be 9. It's going to be fine. Could do it from it'll just be a big white glass box, and hopefully by the time I've taken 2 steps I will be invisible.
My idea for the whole show is to somehow use the architecture of the Hayward as a sounding board to think about space. It's almost as if I'm taking the building as my lump of clay and I'm investigating what its capabilities are and how it can be pushed and pulled into something that has meaning. This is an enormous space. We've got this 1.5 meters, then there's another 1.5 meters up here, this light channeling thing made out of softboard. I would just take the whole bloody lot out. Be fabulous. My original plan was to make installations in the hidden bits. I wanted to take this wall out. As I wanted to use this room here. I wanted just to have either a single body form, like in a sort of Abu Ghraib kind of thing, or else just a tube coming down from the ceiling. I've been told that it's not allowed. Part of this is self-protection. The fact is, if you look at that, come over here. If you look at that wall and you ask yourself, does that look like a professional job? The answer has to be no, it doesn't. My work out there in the street or on the beach or whatever, in order to see whether or not it would make contact. And it has done to a very wide range of people. I mean, it's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Okay, guys. Oh, look at that.
For me, there's no question that sculpture wants to be the still point in a moving world where people can sense their own lives against this thing that doesn't move at the same speed as they feel that they have to. Leaving university at the end of the 60s, I didn't have the confidence that I was going to be an artist. I just wanted to experience life without the expectations of a job or an institution or a career or any of that. And I guess for me it was natural to want to go to India. It was at the end of my time in India that I began to really respond to
for something that had always been there in the landscape of my travels, but I hadn't ever realized how meaningful it was. And that was just the way that people would sleep on the streets and the platforms under cotton dhotis or lungis, often with a pair of sandals or maybe even a transistor radio parked close to the head. And there's something very, very powerful and beautiful about this public declaration of the sanctity or the fragility of life. These sleeping bodies became the kind of lasting image of India. All you have to do is look at sleeping places. And they were the first sculptures I ever made. And they are of my friends covered in sheets that have been dipped in plaster. There's no question that they carry in seed everything that's happened since. Everything that I've made, I think, is, extremely, wobbly. And I guess if you think of the Brancusis and the Richard Serra pieces and the odd Joseph Beuys, those works have a self-determined rightness. There's no sense of something being left undone. And there's a kind of calm conviction. And that's the kind of state that I would aspire to.
Do any of your own works fill you with that same sense of satisfaction?
Oh yeah. And I think there are. And if I hadn't had that right from the very beginning, I wouldn't be here. There are absolutely, and it's very, very tangible. So, I could list them very, very easily. The full bowl Lansinaire one bed, 3 places, 3 calls, proof, under my skin, learning to see, learning to think. All of those works in different ways aspire to this condition of completeness and succeed to a degree.
Are you aware that that list did not include any of the works that you're most known for?
I think they're all quite problematic. These big works, like Field, like Domain Field. There's not a lot you can do about this. The fact is, the work makes it very clear what you have to do next.